folks. Welcome back to another infectious episode of Whining About Pest Control. I am Shelby Hartzer of 360 Pest Consulting, and get ready because this one's going to get deep. Go grab a glass. We're going to whine about rodents, and not just rodents, but rodents and disease. So in honor of all the freakish zoonotic diseases that are out there, I'm drinking a Freak Show Red Blend. Cheers. So deep and rich. Nice. The reason this is coming up today is because new research has been published on rodents and COVID. The media has picked this up and in many cases totally blown it out of proportion. Here's the science behind it. Researchers took 79 rats from New York City sewers. Why 79? Why not 80? A nice round number? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. They did a whole bunch of tests and found that 13 of those rats tested positive. They also purposely infected the rats and found that they could carry the Alpha, Delta, and Omicron variants. They did not test to see if the rodents could then give COVID to people. That's probably coming up next. While COVID is still at the top of many people's minds, there are a number of other diseases to be concerned about. The CDC lists 14 diseases directly transmitted by rodents. Ready? Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, Lassa fever, leptospirosis, lujo-hemorrhagic fever, lymphocytic chiromeningitis, monkeypox, OMPS hemorrhagic fever, rat bite fever, salmonellosis, South American arenavirus, sylvic typhus, and tularemia. And that doesn't include the indirectly caused diseases, Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, plague, and more that's transmitted by the arthropods that are living on the rodents. Lots to be concerned about here. This is whining about control, so let's talk about that. We've covered a lot of different aspects of rodents before, but never in this context. In this context, I want to whine about controlling the disease. And to control the disease, that means safety and reduction of rodent populations. All of the previous mentioned diseases can be spread to people through direct contact, breathing in contaminated air, touching contaminated material, being bitten or scratched by an infected rodent, eating food contaminated by an infected rodent. Don't eat foods contaminated by rodents. So when walking into that rodent-infested account, precautions have to be taken. First, wear all the appropriate PPE. You're probably going to want to go a step farther too. Maybe wear thicker gloves, maybe eye protection, probably some type of respiratory protection. The CDC also has some great tips for what to do when cleaning up after that infestation. Remember that the urine and the old feces can become airborne. It becomes aerosolized, and you could be breathing that in with a side helping of disease. Next, if you offer that service, you folks are the ones that are cleaning up after that rodent infestation. Again, wear that PPE. Have the appropriate cleaning materials. You're not going to be able to get away with just soap and water on this one. It's not going to cut it. A disinfectant is going to be needed. Keep in mind, disinfectants still not guaranteed to kill every single microorganisms. Remember, they're usually 99.999. Still got that little 0.001. Finally, along with keeping you safe, we want to keep the customers safe. Obviously, once the infestation is started, the rodents need to be dealt with. It's a little late for prevention. If it can be hurt early before it becomes that full-blown infestation, or after you have cleared out that infestation, then prevention really needs to kick in. All those fun subjects you talk to your customers about with all the other pests, they apply to rodents too. Sanitation and exclusion are very effective means of reducing rodent pressures and keeping the rodents out of structures. If the customer thinks it's no big deal to have a couple rats or mice running around their facility, remind them that the plague still exists in the United States and mortality rates from hantavirus are around 40%. That's all I'm going to whine about today. There will be more. So have a glass, wear a mask, and you can always whine to me about your tough pest problems. Helpful information down below as always. Share with all your friends, your enemies, your parents, your grandparents, and hit all those social media buttons because you don't want to miss out on any of this great whining. Until next time, cheers to rodent diseases.